now we should be live. Yes.
Boom.
But I guess the real question is, who is doing the intro since Jack's not here?
Well done, Cole.
Well, excellent volunteering. Good job.
All right. Well, hello and welcome to Let's Drone Out. This week we are joined by the man with the mustache, Steven.
Good evening.
Jack's darling wife, Tony.
You don't have to say it. He's not here. For sure.
And wait. Oh, yes. Our Lord and Master, Frank, Andrew/Frank.
Hello.
And I'm some Canadian guy who's taking over Jack's intro space at the moment. Howdy.
Howdy.
Hey, how you guys all doing?
Good.
Great,
There's sunshine, blue skies. Temperature doesn't require like heating. It's excellent.
No. Crazy.
Nice to hear. Yeah.
How are things over in Canada?
They're not too shabby. Weather's been all right. Bit of rain, bit of sun, bit of clouds, but I can't complain right now. It's above. I think it's above 20 today. So, yeah.
What, in real money?
Somewhere everywhere.
We got 22 today.
Yeah. Actually, no, I lied. 17 right now. So close enough.
Yeah.
And you've been out flying by the sound of it, right?
I did. I got out today. I looked at the weather and I said, I guess I have cleaned up everything I need to around my house for the most part, and I don't have a ton of work to do this morning, and it's only the early afternoon still for me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go fly 4 batteries, and it only took like 20 minutes to charge them up, which was nice. And I got a little bit of flying in today.
Sweet.
What kind of area were you flying around?
So it's actually like this, basically just outside of the city I live in. There's like, I guess like some like country roads kind of thing, but off of this one little country road, there's these train bridges, that basically like, well, I guess it's car bridges or train bridges. I guess what's the right term for it? Basically, there's a road that goes over the train, and there's actually one that goes under, and then there's one that goes over. And I was like, I've been there a bunch of times. Like we used to go there as kids and just kind of hang out. But I was like, this would be a pretty cool place to fly FPV. So
It sounds
brought
like
it
a
out
really
there.
cool place to power loop a train.
Yeah.
Yes, allowed, Stephen.
Well,
Is allowed. So long as the train was stationary and there was no one on board the train, that would be.
Well, it's usually just, I think it's like usually freight trains, cargo trains going by. It's not like passenger trains or anything, but
Yeah, so if
Oh,
all
that's
intents
all
and
right,
purposes, the train was stationary and there was no one on board
What's
the train.
happening? Is the fly
I don't think
chasing
we care
you?
about that.
well, so the difficult thing is that to do any of these power loop type things you may be speaking of, there would be no chance of doing it over a train because you could really only do it under the.
You said there was
bridge
one
thing.
bridge under the train and one bridge
Oh.
over the train. So I thought you could like follow.
Well,
both of
technically speaking, you could,
No,
and I
no,
wasn't actually
no.
thinking about the under one, because no trains came by today on the underneath one, but the one that I could go under, I should say. But yeah, actually, no, that's a good point. I should try that one of these times, maybe. That'd be kind of cool. But I don't know the legalities. I have to check that out.
I mean, if you're going to be a defeatist, I mean, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, well, actually, so besides my flying, I actually did a bit of soldering today too, or desoldering, I guess you could say. So for some really weird reason, the analog cameras, they have like the video and power and all that stuff, but they also have like the remote control leads, like the ground and the control.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I've tried hooking up basically the controls to my flight controller, because my flight controller supposedly can, like, through the flight controller and through the sticks, I can go in and like change the analog camera parameters. But I don't know if it's my camera or if I'm just stupid or if I just suck and I can't figure it out. But I've never had any good luck being able to like access the analog camera's OSD and menus and whatnot. But I seem to consistently get this weird issue where basically every now and again my camera will essentially like the OSD elements seem to like flicker, and I used to think it was like, oh, it's a bad chip, or it's a bad ground, or it's a bad something. And I fiddled around with the wires. I messed around with a bunch of different stuff, and it didn't do anything. Well, I basically desoldered the camera control parts or wires from the camera to the flight controller. And essentially, once I took those off, I had no more of that weird stuff. So I either put them to the wrong pads, or they weren't grounded properly, or something was finicky in there. I don't exactly know what was
Camera
wrong.
control was always a bit of a dark art. Like there wasn't really a universal standard. It was a bit like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. You don't have to read that far down camera control forum posts to find people reaching for their box of resistors and soldering extra resistors onto various pins. All gets a bit much.
Okay, so I'm not the first person to go down this rabbit hole, essentially.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know, because like I was like, to hell with this camera control wires. I don't use them. If I need to, I can plug in the little one that came with the camera.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're constantly going from like day mode to night mode to day mode to night mode, like,
no,
what are you using it for?
Well, exactly. Like the only reason I ever need that remote is to just turn off the built-in OSD elements that come stock, so that there's nothing from the camera manufacturer, I guess. But
I hate that. Yeah.
I mean, it's really weird how some people just leave it on, and then they have their other OSD from their flight controller, and they've never removed like the run cam OSD, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, they look at you like, what do you mean? There's nothing wrong here. Like, can't you see it? Can't you see it?
It's like overlapped OSD elements from different sources. You're just like, what's going on? Man?
There's no problem. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
You go around their house and they've like wallpapered a room, and then there's just a massive patch missing in the middle, and they're like, it's fine. It's fine. It's just always been like that.
Yeah. So I basically I got that sorted out, and I basically and I also had to refocus my analog camera, because when I was in Taiwan, I like smashed into some crazy shit out of Bando, and it knocked my camera just slightly out of focus, where I could still fly perfectly fine. Not a big deal, but I like the last few times I looked close, and I'm like, wait, why can't I just see everything in such good detail, like an inch or two from the camera? Okay, I'm gonna have to go back in and
you're like slowly getting a migraine the longer you fly, like trying to stare and I can't focus. Why can't I focus?
Yeah. So basically, it was like, okay, focus the camera, take off the stupid camera control wires, and now everything is resolved. And then I got out to fly. So it was a success. Except the last annoying thing was at the very end of my last battery, then a train decided to come, and I'm like, no, that's when I want to get the shots. So I sent up one of my like almost dead batteries and kind of ran it a little too low, but it's okay.
That sounds absolutely correct. That is the right thing to do.
Doesn't sketchy at all.
No, I'm like, okay, because I
he did a risk assessment, obviously, because who doesn't do a risk assessment? Right? So long as the risk assessment was in and filed, which obviously did, because it was his last battery, it had plenty of time to file the risk assessment in triplicate.
Yeah,
it was all good.
It's a dynamic risk assessment. That's what it is. If you don't write it down and you just do things, it's a dynamic risk assessment.
Heartily dynamic retrospective risk assessment.
No, I had the checklists out. I had the bulletin board. I had the pen. I was all above board on this. But no, I took what I did was my dynamic risk assessment was, okay, get out the lipo checker, see which one has the most left, and then okay, this one has 14.9 left. Okay, that'll give me like a minute maybe of flight. So I just like very gently throttled like in the general direction of it, and then sort of went near it, but I was playing safe with it. So, and I landed in just fine. It was all good.
Like a professional.
Excellent.
What can I say, man? What can I say?
I don't know where you get it from.
For anyone wondering where Jack is, talking about non-professionality, he is moving home again. So
He left Brighton, but then he realised he'd been sitting on those names for so long, and it's ludicrous trying to find a pilot handle these days. He had no choice but to go back to Brighton and once again be Brighton till I fly. I mean, he tried some kind of puns involving other southeast town names.
Yeah,
make it work.
FPV or something, wasn't it?
Ipswich till I fly just didn't have the same ring to it.
No,
yeah,
it's not punchy.
So yes, next week normal service will be resumed.
Well, we say normal.
Probably
some
about
sort of service will be resumed.
Yeah, 20 past. It'd be late, and we'd be talking rubbish again.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, good luck, Jack. Hopefully, all the models survived the trip.
Yeah. You guys been up to,
wings are still down here, so.
Oh, really? Okay. So they're probably going to be in better condition after the trip than they were before, thanks to your OCD wing fixing skills.
No, that is not how things happen around here.
Really? You're
what
actually
you can't see is the wall of planes that are, of which 2 of them are flyable, I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
What's that blue and white one behind
they
you?
look very, very cleanly put together.
The Tomcat.
Yeah, it looks like a transformer.
It's got a servo in it. Yeah, Can I grab that? I don't
show us the what does it? Do the wings move like a Tomcat?
Yeah. I
had one of the Action Man models as a kid, I think, or really wanted one with a Tomcat with the wings that moved.
Oh,
amazing.
Nice.
Ah, sweet.
Sweet.
Oh, I like that. So you can flick a switch and that will do that while you're flying.
Exactly.
Are you taking that to Popham?
I'm not going to Popham, unfortunately.
Are you not now?
No, I've never been free on the weekends that
Popham
was happening. So, yes. But yeah, talking of the wing racing, so yeah, there's the wing racing and X-Class racing at Popham on the 8th and 9th of June. So that is definitely happening, and I'm sure Clive in the chat will have lots of exciting things to say about that. What else is going on? We've got the wing racing next weekend, so the 18th and 19th of May in Wales. I will be going to that.
In the rain.
Almost rain.
Ye of little faith. Batch order.
Wait, where did you say the wing racing was?
Wales. South Wales. It's not too far into Wales.
It's far enough that you will be walking into a storm front.
I've been there before and it didn't rain.
While you were flying? It's like, trying to smoke a cigarette at a bus stop. You just reach for a lighter and the bus pulls up. It's the same. You go out there to a part of the world that's known for rain. It's going to be a beautiful day. You'll have lunch. You'll chat. You go and pick the model up, and it'll just.
Yeah. So yeah, I do need to probably make sure that still flies. It would probably be a good idea. So I guess that's my plan for Saturday.
Nice.
Make sure. And I still need to fix that bomb, the battery pack that doesn't want to discharge itself. I need to sort that out.
Oh.
Have you not sorted that?
The one-way BMS.
Yeah, exactly.
Hoarding BMS.
Desolder all that and just remove the BMS and just not run it down to 0 again.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Clive is saying that the Wing and X-Class racing supports analog and HD0 and DJI and walk sail. So whatever you've got, you do need, at least for the Popham one, I can't remember for the rest, you do need BMFA insurance, but if you don't, or BDF insurance, which is BMFA with a different name, but if you don't have BMFA insurance, they can sort it out for you for £5 for 30 days. So
Wow,
There you go.
amazing.
Oh, that's good.
So anything that might possibly stop you from going to any of the wing racing events, just drop them a message. They'll sort it out. Drop Matt Stubbs a message. That's all, Clive. I'm sure they'll sort you out.
That's good.
Nice. That's not bad. £5 for £5 for 30 days. That's
yeah, and that would also sort you for Western Park if you were going to fly in one of the open slots there. That would sort you out for. I'm sure there's a couple of other things going on around then, so sort stuff out. Also, events. One that might not be on anyone's radar at the moment. So EMF, which is an event I've been to a load of times before and tried to do drone flying of things and always struggled a bit because it's basically a festival, except instead of music, there's just nerds building things, which quite often like Tesla coils or high power radio transmitters or whatever, which don't seem to, make drone flying that doable.
yeah.
So we've always struggled in the past, but I've spoken to the organizers, and one evening when no one is doing any of those things for some amount of time, I'm getting use of one of their circus tents to do some tiny whooping around.
Nice.
So we're also using their projectors. We've got people bringing the HD0 gear and a load of other gear so that we can stream tiny whoop stuff to the screens. Yes, we're not doing it as a formal organized race or anything because basically we don't trust that someone in the festival won't have something going on that completely ruins everything. But if nothing else, we'll be hanging around in a circus tent waiting for signal to arrive.
Nerds make wormhole aliens come through. ruin Tiny Whoop Day.
I think it was the last event where we got a satellite selfie where we all went out into one particular bit of the festival field and sort of looked up and waved because we knew a particular satellite was going over, and we knew the people, or someone knew someone who operated the satellite and could take a picture at that moment.
No way. That's too cool.
That's well cool.
There's also some people with some very, very high power lasers that they rarely get to play with. And so there's no TAMs and everything, and lasers that are so you see just it's crazy. It's mind
Bring your
boggling.
own welding mask.
Yeah.
Hide your camera sensors.
There's also pulse jets and things. It's a cool event. I very much enjoy it.
Sounds fun.
It's just not too conducive to FPV necessarily. But I've spoken. There's a Tesla Coil Village with negotiating with them a time slot when they could maybe not for a little bit. So anyone that is going to EMF, let me know, or look at the village events, and there will be Tiny Whooping the Circus Tent as an event, as a workshop, I think it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whereabouts is this being held?
East Nor, which is Herefordshire somewhere. Richard Warwick in the chat has posted a link to the WRL-UK.com website with the Popham event link.
Lovely.
So anyone who's interested in that, find out more there.
Sorry, I keep running off. I'm charging my bike from my solar panel stuff, and it's charging from a battery, a car battery, or not, or a van battery. So just legging it down to make sure it's at 11.6, but that is under strain. So I think it should make it. Hopefully,
yeah,
it's charged. Fingers crossed. What is 11.6 when it's at home? That is 20% left, but that's under strain, so it's probably 50% maybe. I'll have to check it again in a minute. So I have to run off again in a minute. Sorry, guys.
So what's happening with this bike saga? Because you were trying to get together all the bits that should be on your bike that had stopped being part of your bike last time. The shop had mislaid bits of your bike.
Oh, yes. I've got everything back.
Again now.
Well, they just bought me exactly the same stuff. So I've got everything new again because they lost it all.
Is the bike working as it should?
Yes. It is. Thank you. It's
I saw some awesome shots actually recently of Tony ripping around. And with Coco too. Yeah, with Coco too. Just you go around the corner, then you just see Coco just chasing right after you. Yeah.
Oh, she's so fast still.
Oh yeah.
She's so fast still. I've done 294 miles on the new motor. That's probably 2 weeks riding.
Sounds like a good amount of riding to make sure it works.
Just got to wearing it in.
How many miles do you put on that at a time then? You're doing like 20 mile, 30 mile rides?
Yeah, every other day, every day. It's so good that you can go out, don't feel tired, go to work, come home and then go out again. That's why I love it. I did take it downhill last weekend, and it's so much different to the analog bike because it's so much heavier. It's great for going up hills, but going down, oh my God, all my shoulders were aching because it's just like throwing around so much weight compared to my other one. But I don't know, it's fun going up. It's actually more fun going up than going down, to be honest.
Tailspin's wondering what bike you got there, Tony.
It is a white E160.
The two seem to be overlapping a whole lot. There's very few FPV reviewers that haven't reviewed an e-bike recently. They're probably in the minority now.
Yeah, it's more of an e-mountain bike than an e sort of bike that viewers they get.
Bit of a premium job, not a down the shops job. Yeah,
it's quite expensive. It's like buying a car
or a motorbike rather.
Yeah, probably like a motorbike. Actually, my mate bought a motorbike, and my bike was more expensive than his motorbike.
Wow.
So you can imagine.
Well, it won't be too long before
more, Caroline.
We start limiting the use of petrol engines. So it makes sense to get in on the action.
Well, I went from here to Brighton and back the other day.
Oh wow.
I literally just got on it, saw a sign, it said Brighton. I went, "You're all right then." It was a noisy ride.
You have to recharge
ride, though. It was noisy. You had to go all the way down the 23, basically on the paths next door to the motorway. There was a particular bit where no barriers, and the cars are doing 70 mile an hour towards you around a bend, and you're going on towards the traffic, and it's just so loud and scary.
Hairy.
I didn't like it.
It doesn't sound encouraging.
No, it wasn't a nice ride, but the fact that you can ride from here to Brighton or walk to Brighton is pretty cool.
What's the kind of cruising speed, and how many miles do you get at that?
Cruising when I've got Coco on me, probably. Well, if I keep under the limiter, which is 15.5 mile an hour, so if I cruise at 15 mile an hour, basically.
You're saying you haven't disabled the limiter, Tony?
If I do, my warranty gets disabled.
Oh, revolting.
Yeah.
So it's after 2 years, when my warranty on the motor runs out, she will be chipped. Until then, no.
15 mile an hour must not even be getting the motor warm on a decent talky motor.
Not really. I mean, it depends. You can have it on eco, auto, MTB mode, or turbo. So if you went up turbo all the way there and back, you'd probably run the battery completely out. But if you were auto all the way back there and back, you could probably still have 40% battery.
What, like 50 miles on a charge?
Probably 60, 70. Depends what
All of
you're
50
in.
miles. That's not bad. That's not bad
Yeah.
at all.
Wow.
I went from Saltdean to Eastbourne and back along the Cliff Coast. That was a 55-mile round trip up and down the Seven Sisters. So I was turboing up that canes your battery, but
Not really got range anxiety then.
no,
Sweet.
and I've got over my breakdown anxiety now.
Oh yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah. Miles out and then something goes wrong and you've got a heavy e-bike to pedal back. They're not nice to pedal with no power at all, tell you.
Jeez.
Horrible.
Yeah, that might be a lock it up and walk home and get in the car.
Yeah. Dad, I'm in.
Can you come get me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elle's first e-bike, she got like a Chinese special, and it was very good value.
Yeah.
But it was a giant steel frame bike with a fairly weak motor. And so she felt like completely overwhelmed by it, because the instant the power went, it was just a huge, great hunk of steel to move around. And she was like, oh, no, I'm not cut out for cycling. This is ridiculous. And then she got some just regular bike from secondhand from a store down the road, just completely standard hybrid chassis, and was like, wow, yeah, I'm so fast now. Zoomed off and then got one of those switch wheel conversions. So you get like an electric front wheel you can drop in, give you a bit of a boost now and then.
I'm waiting for mine to turn up at the moment. It's due any day now.
Oh, that's cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, my dad, his first e-bike was same kind of thing, like a Chinese special, and it was like had really bad handling. Like I don't know what it was, but I rode it a few times and really bad handling, super heavy, but good value, I guess. Like it wasn't expensive. That wasn't that expensive comparatively.
If you were only buying the motor and the battery, it'd be great value, but you just get like 30 kilos of crap steel chassis as well. Yeah, and it was like, you go from riding that to just like a regular bike afterwards. You're like, oh wow, I can really ride. Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday I rode my friend Hayley's bike. She's got a souped up mountain bike, probably the same sort of price I paid. She spent a lot of money on her suspension and stuff. And I went from going downhill on mine and then zooming up past her, coming back down, and then she went, do you want to go on mine? And I was like, yeah, got on it. And I was like, oh my God, it's so hard to get up the hills. What's going on? It's so different.
Well, it says just not an MTB. It's not got the torque, or
no, it's analog.
Oh, just a regular. Yeah. Okay.
So it was like, oh bloody hell.
Yeah, you've got to strengthen those knees up, mate.
My knees are knackered.
Oh man. Yeah, don't do too crazy incline of things. That's how you. I learned I used to do too much incline on the treadmill and my knees were getting a little sore. I'm like, I think I'm gonna lower that incline.
Yeah, I think I've wrecked my knees from 22 years of up and down ladders, to be honest.
That'll do it.
Not friendly.
That'll do it.
Quite a few steps.
Well, when he falls as well, you must have had a few interesting times. No, you're like a little mountain goat up and down there.
Feet are just
fine, touchwood.
Yeah.
I don't use it anymore. Only occasional when I need to, because I've got the pole system now. So I'm resting on these.
I'm terrified of ladders. I've put like a burglar alarm on a house and things before, and oh my word, the amount of sweat that came off me for being up a ladder. I was only like 15 foot off the ground, but sweating buckets.
We've done silly things. Well, I wouldn't say silly things, but we've done some some stuff you shouldn't tell people about.
For anyone to hear, right?
Yeah, ladders up onto roofs and then
pick the ladder up and go onto another roof, and fun times.
That sort of stuff. 3 stories up and out on balconies and stuff like that.
Well, do you guys want to see my flight from today, or?
Yes, back to brony stuff.
Okay, So this is my.
What the
I'm
heck?
still editing or whatever, but
Interesting looking.
it's so I'm actually going towards. Oh, is it just doing a little choppy thing? It's not
Mm.
It's not
too
too
bad, I
bad.
guess.
You could.
It is a
e-bike to
series
there.
of postcards from here.
Nice little under
Cute.
the tunnel.
Oh, a little fade, a little bit of analog static, and into the next.
All wires.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a couple wires there I had to watch out for. It would be cool to dive through those two, but there's a third one in the middle underneath it. But
High-powered Scraggle.
This is all disused railway, right?
oh,
yeah,
totally.
this is all
Yeah.
completely unused. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you just done your test the other day, and tests. You just ticked disused. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, totally unused.
There's a ghost train. Woo.
That's all good. I was just perusing the area. It's all good.
No passengers.
I was just like honestly just kind of like power looping. I only had 4 batteries, so I was like, well, I'll fly a bit around and just kind of do what I can. I don't know. I do some risky stuff, I guess you could say, but I try to mitigate the risk as much as possible because I don't want to have to retrieve a.
No, you don't want to be going
drone.
anywhere near train lines, really.
Mm-mm.
It's not fun time.
But it's pretty fun to power loop it.
Yeah, bridges are cool.
I think that's kind of the gist of it, though. Then I just did a little bit of like cruising around through the little countryside area over the treetops and stuff, and yeah, it was fun. Sometimes it's nice to just get out and just kind of see what happens.
To zoom over.
Oh, sorry, what was that, Stephen?
Some nice views just zooming over the tree canopy there.
Oh, absolutely.
That's quite good fun.
Yeah, it looks lovely. That does.
And then the river there, and yeah, it was. I mean, nothing fancy, but just nice to get out and fly a bit. It's not every time you fly has to be the best time you flew ever. You know what I mean? Like if you try to do that every single time, you're probably going to be disappointed with the hobby. And there
it's fatiguing, isn't it? If you constantly try and up the risk, you're always breaking things, and you're always in high pressure, high stress situations. Sometimes you just need to have a little chill.
Totally. Yeah, it's
I need to go out again and have a chill fly, I think.
Well,
but I need a 3D printed thing from your GoPro.
Ah.
They still do that. Do people still do that? It's for an alien.
I'm still trying to get my 3D printer to work. I made the mistake of trying to flash it.
I might actually have one, but that's not very helpful all the way in Canada.
bit too far, Cole.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably do it. I just have to know exactly what part you need printed. If it's like a known STL, I could have a go.
It's probably someone's already got one done.
For the alien, absolutely. Yeah, there's
Alien Hero 7. That's all I need.
Yep. Yeah. Or you know what you could do, because I never when I flew my alien, I actually never used 3D prints. I used and so no, I don't have a no. I just used the foam wedge and the strap. Yeah.
Who do you think you are, Mr. Steel?
I want a bit more protection.
I am.
Plus, it's easier just have it on there all the time. I think I might have one at a lesser angle, because I did have two. I had 25% and a 15%, I think, for going slower chasing mountain bikes. So I might be able to put that on, if I remember, if I can find it.
Sorry, I heard sounds and I had a battery plugged in. So
I was just looking and seeing quadcopters.co.uk have Impulse RC alien mounts.
Are they still alive? I thought they'd shut.
I don't know. I mean, they come up on Google.
Years ago.
Why the hell they're running the
Impulse,
website?
No, they're still making frames and stuff.
The quadcopters.
Yeah, Impulse, but not quadcopters. I'm sure they shut.
Oh, it says out of stock. But why are they still running the website? I don't get this.
I'm pretty sure that company shut down.
Yeah, I think you're right. I remember them. And where the money's coming from to pay for that website is a mystery.
Probably all paid.
Well, I found a mount on Thingiverse, Hero 7 mount for Impulse Alien.
Sweet.
Yeah, but maybe there's a better one. There's
And the only
such an
trouble
old
is
frame.
Tony being in Brighton and me not having an Alien frame. I need to be sure that everything is printing out and it's not like shrinking slightly, because if there's a little bit of shrinkage in the printing and it's too tight, then I'm gonna have to send him like, multiple
10.
prints in a row, and like a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller.
What degrees do you run, Tony?
25 probably.
Okay, I found one for 30, but that is pushing it a bit. I'll be able to find one for you, man. There's a million of them online. Just have to find like a good one.
I've got a friend who's got 10,000 printers in his garage, so he might be able to do it. If you can send me the file, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah. What I found though is like with the Alien, because I had a few people print stuff for me over the years, and like you don't want the mounts that are the stupid little super thin ones that are just like almost like maybe like not even a millimeter thick. You want the kind of heavy duty ones, because I found that the
material.
the thin ones, they seem to like, I don't know, they're almost too pliable. And in my experience too, you don't want the ones that you put the little screw in and like mount. Like you want like the one solid piece one.
The one I had was the one you take the 4 screws out of the frame and then put it on the top.
Yeah, you don't want what they call a finger mount. That's the one.
Yeah, you don't want the finger mount ones.
Yeah,
no.
The finger mount for cinematic stuff, when you're going to be swapping the camera a lot, if you're going to freestyle it or fly at speed, it just gives you so much jello.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a bit of a cruiser
actually,
on the Alien.
I have a finger mount one for the Alien if you want it. I've never used it.
It's Miles. What did Clive's just put? I've just seen an Alien print. I've just seen one or done one. I've just done a Hero 7 print for the 4. Clive's just printed one for his X-Class. Hero 7 as well. Wait, what? With an e-bike, shouldn't you be working for Deliveroo? New.
Are you going to do a shout out to everyone in the chat, Tony? Calling back like
I can have a quick look. Who we got? Caroline, Richard Warwick in the chat. From the chat. That's his second name now, isn't it? Tailspin in there. Who else is there? Clive. Zoe was in the chat. Jack's in there somewhere. Failsafe. And I think that's it so far. Hello, everyone. Sorry we're talking e-bikes and not much.
I've got some slightly exciting FPV news.
Go on.
So in the second half of June, I'm going out to Poland to help with. So I do some work at Planes TV, doing filming of air shows.
Sweet.
And we're doing an air show out in Poland.
Damn.
Where there's going to be. They've got a couple of kind of house drone pilots, where there's one guy who's got all the paperwork to fly his Mavic style drone inside the aerobatic box of the air show. So literally manned aircraft doing, aerobatics, pyrotechnics, all of that, and the drone in that space as well.
Wow.
That's interesting.
And he's done that for the past couple of years, I think. But then this year, he's brought on a mate to do some FPV flying as well.
Wow.
So that should be exciting. So I'm going to be in a shipping container on the other side of the field doing all the vision mixing, so sort of live editing of the video.
Nice.
Sweet, man. That's awesome.
Sounds like a good gig.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
And if you're out in Poland, you should go find some crazy bandos.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
I think most of my luggage allowance is going to be taken up with like cables. That seems like most of it is going to be cables.
You'll be the video DJ.
Yeah. Exactly.
Our Lord and Master.
Yeah. So yeah, that's taking up my brain space at the moment. Is working out how this is all going to work, or at least what I need to do.
I didn't realize you had a line in video mixing.
Yeah.
Side project.
That's cool.
One of many. Cool.
It's probably not easy because you have to. I've seen it done very poorly before, and I've seen it done very well. So it's probably either you have a shitload of experience and you're good, or it's probably not that easy.
But it's
and the tools
easy
are very
for 90% of the time. Like 90% of the time, there's like 1 or 2 buttons you need to press, and it's fine. And you just need to do a lot of talking to explain what you're doing to all the various people that are doing things. And it's most of it's quite easy. It's when it goes wrong, and you've got to very quickly identify what's gone wrong and why, and how to avoid showing this to the world. That's the sort of tricky. Yeah. It's like
which button on the switcher puts it back to the feed that is still working? That one.
Wouldn't it be nice to have that on the news though, like FPV pilot and drone pilot flying at live air show?
What makes you think it won't be on the news?
Well, let's hope it will. I bet it won't be on our news.
No, I mean yeah. I was meaning in a negative way. FPV pilot and live aircraft at an air show in Poland.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing about this air show compared to air shows in the UK is that the Polish aviation authorities are a bit more friendly towards doing weird things with aircraft. So the aerobatics carries on into the night rather than stopping at sunset like it would in the UK.
Oh, really?
And
what's the reasoning behind that?
I guess just it's a higher level of risk or something.
Historical precedent or something?
Probably. Like, I know the sort of rule book for air shows went from being like a little A4 document that you could print out at home and staple together and it'd be fine. And then there was the Shoreham incident where in the UK, the air show regulations have gone through like 5 different editions and are now like an enormous stack, encyclopedia of regulations.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, but they also allow a lot more pyrotechnics. So we have like a little bit of pyrotechnics just here and there. They have like they just fill an aircraft with pyro and set it all off.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Well, I hope they continue to do a competent job of it, and maybe they set an example for everyone else to just loosen up and relax a bit.
Yeah. Maybe I'll propose to Plains TV that we should make a little sort of press release thing for it. It'd be good.
Sounds awesome.
When are you doing that?
Second half of June. When is it? It's the 20th to the 22nd of June. Some of it will be the practice sessions that they do in the morning will be live broadcasting for free on YouTube, and then the full air show with all the pyrotechnics and night flying and everything, that is on their paid service, which is watch.plainstv.com. If you like air shows, you should check it out.
I've watched it. I think I watched a few of them with you before last year.
Yeah. Quite often I'm sort of sent to the smaller ones and doing live streaming to YouTube from there. It's often the way.
Yeah, I've only ever been to one air show, and that was last year.
Your inaugural air show that you were photographing.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this year. I think we talked about it last year, but I'm almost certain that I'll be back again this year, as long as the production company I was working with is still on the up and up with them, which I assume they are because they're people. There's a pretty good chance I'll actually be up in the sky filming
Ooh.
planes this year from the
That's
sky,
very nice.
which would be pretty crazy. So
That is very
Hole
cool.
in the sky.
it'll be
camera ship
yeah.
running along the crowd line, taking all the shots of the crowd.
Oh man, I don't even know. Like I don't even know what's gonna happen or what to expect. But I mean, I feel like I've never, other than being in a plane and like just like having my phone out the window, I've never like flown and filmed other than a quad, right? So it'll be a different. It'll be different for sure. But it should be cool.
I've heard horror stories of people having their first go at air-to-air filming and not quite well, not even that, but just expecting
Scared?
to be able to kind of set up a tripod and it will be okay.
No.
And it turns out that's not really how things work in the sky.
No, I would probably actually
Some kind of gimbal.
Yeah, I would probably either use like a super small handheld gimbal, or honestly just handheld in slow-mo and just hope for the best.
Yep, that sounds like the best.
Because it's like shoot at like 120, just get like little bits of clips at a time, slow it down, perfectly smooth, beautiful. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, 100 years of the Royal Canadian Air Force, right?
I think it will be. Yeah. Let me see. Royal Canadian. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, April 1st. Actually, so April 1st, 2024 marks 100 years of the Royal Canadian Air Force. Yeah, so it was literally like just a month ago. Yeah. Very cool. I should actually know more history about this stuff. I bet you, Frank, you probably know more than I do. Like, I didn't know it was 100 years. It's like, I'm Canadian. I should know this stuff. But
I get to know a lot of anniversaries of air things through having all the commentary of the air shows piped into my ears.
Yeah.
So you're just pressing buttons, not that.
Most of the time, yeah. Just this button here, switch to the next one, switch to
Is
the
there
next
one facing you? You go, oh, fuck.
It has been before. I haven't used it very much.
Selfie cam.
Shit. It's
there's basically like everything else has gone wrong. Quick, let's use that to show
talk
me
to the
desperately unplugging things and plugging them back in until it all works again.
Oh,
brilliant. I think that one for sure.
yeah. It looks like Caroline Tyler one of their batteries was gone on Sunday and tried to be on fire, but they stopped it. So that's good.
Wow, well done.
That's never a fun experience.
No. If it's outside, it's
Being on fire is impressive.
less scary.
How did you stop it as well? Like a strong look?
Excuse me, what are you doing on fire?
Just lower your glasses and really give it both eyeballs until it just quits.
Best librarian shush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No smoking in here.
Tisk tisk, Mr. Fire.
Rule 0.
Yeah.
I think she's replied.
A short circuit, and she caught it fast enough. Oh.
Well done.
Mechanical damage, or
Let's ask her questions, then wait 10 minutes for her
yeah,
answer.
that's how it works.
Pick another one.
Near real-time chat. Can you feel the anticipation? Amazing. We should get Caroline on to give us an update.
I think we should.
That's something we can do in future.
No damage at all. That's good.
Nice.
Oh, the stern glance probably worked. Imagine she's got a pretty stern glance.
In
She's
fact,
fixing
the battery.
Is it now? Was it a 4S that is now become a 3S? Is that a situation?
Yeah.
What else is everyone else in the chat planning on flying, got anything lined up, got any events you're looking forward to, let us know. We'll shout them out.
Yeah. Well, I know we had Failsafe in the chat, right? And I know FPV Drone Fest should be coming up pretty soon, right?
Yeah, we should get Failsafe on to give us the lowdown. I think they're back up in Coventry at the same paintball site, so lots of outdoor space, some mock buildings to zoom through, plenty of space to fly. That should be fun. Lots of pilots in the air, lots of people to meet and hang out with.
Have you been, Steve?
So I went to the one where they had the big mine head, the big, winch system at the top of the mine. I didn't do this one in Coventry.
What was that? Nottinghamshire?
Yep. Clipstone Colliery.
Clipstone Colliery,
that's right.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
That was a really cool spot.
I spent a lot of time around Coventry as a student, so I didn't really feel the urge to go back. But I'm sure others don't share that formulaic experience that I had, and might be more willing to go near Coventry. So I assure you, it can be fun if you haven't been there before. More importantly, if you're not going to the town centre, which is an excellent example of the skills of the Luftwaffe in the 1940s. And the lack of imagination in British planning shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of that means.
So what Stephen is saying is that in the war,
during the war,
the city of Coventry was obliterated because it was a big industrial place making lots of useful things for the war effort.
And it benefited very little from the planning skills and imagination of British town planners in the 1960s, who largely thought, hey, concrete, we can build things in squares.
Exactly.
Oh man,
we've got a way of building things. We're going to build the entire country in this way.
Yeah. And then people stopped them with quite some enthusiasm 8 or 10 years later, and rather changed the way architecture was going. But not before a lot of towns had been kind of changed, shall we say.
Made quite grey.
Yeah, made quite grey and quite square.
They're just blending in with the clouds.
They do have a street that's entirely old buildings that they kind of rescued, the handful of old buildings that didn't get bombed, and that was quite cool. They had like this one street with lots of like Tudor wattle and daub buildings. That was quite cool. There was a nice pub down there. But yeah.
So you know what? I'm really I'm not up on my history because you said Luftwaffe or something, right?
Yeah,
and
the German Air Force.
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't know these things because I don't know British history.
I am sort of an American.
Not unreasonable.
Yeah,
I'm sort of an ignorant American that lives slightly higher up than America.
Well, Canada did some lent a big hand. There were a lot of Canadian troops involved, but yeah, fortunately the planes didn't have that kind of reach back then, so probably didn't see any out in your cities.
The place where I live was just barren heathland until the Canadians came here in the war, and then it was a big camp of Canadians, and then
camping. We're good at that.
Then we built a load of houses on top of the space that they'd made. So everything around here has lots of Canadian stuff around. There's a Canadian bear statue. There's maple leaves everywhere. There's
nice.
Lots of things.
So basically, every time you're out and about, you think of me, don't you, Frank?
Oh, absolutely. I must have sent you the photo, right? There's a big bit of wall that was made by the Canadians as a model of what they're expecting to find on the other side of the English Channel. And it just says, like, made by the Canadian Armed Forces on it. And it's just this massive brick wall that's about, like, 20 meters wide, just in the middle of a forest. Just for no particular reason.
Wow. Maybe you sent it. Maybe resend it if you have it handy. That's funny. That's really funny, actually.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Clive says, "Is there a Tim Hortons?" if you guys know the reference, I'm sure you kind of do. Maybe not.
It's a restaurant, right?
It's a coffee shop. Yeah. Well, I guess it originally was like a coffee shop, but they had donuts and coffee, and I guess it was what's the equivalent of Tim Hortons in the UK? Just like your most common coffee shop, basically.
Starbucks.
Cafe Nero, probably the homegrown stuff.
Maybe.
There was one I was surprised to find we'd actually exported to China.
Really?
What the F was it? Costa. Was it Costa? Will they have them in China? That was a bit of a
coffee.
Bit of a mindfuck. Yeah, it's not particularly good coffee, but somehow it's more of a premium product in China than it is over here, which is really strange.
Oh, I hate Costa. I won't bother having it anymore. It's disgusting.
There's a really, really huge chain, though. I'm trying to remember now, because when I was in London, I would see it on like every corner. It was like a red thing with stars or something, or
yeah, I think that's
Pret-a-manger. Pret-a-manger, yeah.
Oh yeah. Pret-a-manger, yes.
They do make a good. I'm getting one maybe from there tomorrow because I'm in Kent again tomorrow in Edenbridge, and they have one in the petrol station there. But
yeah, I always used to
coffee.
would just call it Pret-a-manger.
I used to call it.
I used to be partial to their breakfast rolls. They used to be able to get scrambled eggs with smoked salmon in a roll, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Well, and that translates to basically ready to eat.
Yeah.
Pret-a-manger en français. Exactly. Ready to eat.
Like pret-a-porter, but ready to eat.
Yeah.
They do.
I went to French immersion school for 2 years in grade 7 and 8, and that's what I remember.
Well done.
There you go.
Whoa.
There's a bit of Canadian Wall in the middle of English.
Wow, that looks very sad.
It's just got this plaque on it being like, built by Canadian troops.
Did they put that on there?
Yeah, presumably.
The British need to remember us. That's too funny. Yeah, I guess. Well, Canada and UK, they're pretty. Historically, they've been pretty buddy, right? And we basically are a British colony, right? Kind of, sort of.
Commonwealth.
Is that got more pictures of the Queen round there than we do? So yeah.
Yeah.
Are they pictures of the King now? Presumably.
I don't know if he's really got the. I don't know if he's got the traction, to be honest.
Nah, he's not as hot as the Queen was, man.
Doesn't have the PR. Didn't drive around in an E-Type Jag smoking.
Is it offensive to refer to the Queen as hot?
Hotties from history. That was a feature in one of the used podcasts that I listened to. Was it the John Oliver one, The Bugle, and they'd have a feature of hotties from history.
Hell yeah, she'd be
highly inappropriate. Sure. Highly inappropriate.
I apologize to England for my remarks. Please let me in.
Right, the Trident submarines are at this moment making their way towards
the call has been made. You'll hear about it on Radio 4 imminently.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh, Carolyn Tyler said, we did let you share our Queen. Well, for that, I salute to the British. Off with my head. No. Clive, no.
Has anyone got any plans to fly this weekend? As it's the nice weather, and looks like it is changing as from Sunday night.
I'm hoping Saturday stays nice. That is the day I have clear and free to do some things like flying and sitting around not doing anything. Because that's my last chance for the next 2 months.
Are you fully booked, are you?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of doing a little bit of flying, getting one of the small quads out. I've just got a whole litany of other bits and pieces to do. Been doing lots of kind of PC home lab stuff, tinkering around with lots of computer hardware. But yeah, I mean, there's a few just sitting on the desk waiting for me to go and do something with them. So probably take out a little 3.5 inch. I've been really enjoying flying them because just fly them anywhere, and they've got enough oomph to do some little, you know, what you call it? Like you get that cannonball trajectory a little bit, like you do with a 5 inch. You know, it holds its momentum, whereas 2.5 inch, they don't really hold their momentum. Like you just let go of the throttle and it just stops and starts falling. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, with Jack being nearer again, I think might be able to go and see him, get some drivings reworked, and then get him out.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's just like a repair service for you, isn't it? It's just, oh, where's Jack? Oh, I miss him. Oh, it's terrible. I've got so many things that are broken that he needs to fix.
I think
my technician moved.
I think everything's working. Probably just a couple of them could do with like a resolder here and there, and bits and bobs. Nothing major. No
Just
massive rebuilds. No, just a little tune up, and then get him out afterwards for a fly. I think, hopefully.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll be unpacking for about 2 years.
Yeah, he seemed to. He packed stuff up and then said, "Oh yeah, I packed everything up and I actually put all the stuff that I need to fly right at the bottom in, and I spread it out across 7 different cases." It's like in a video game the way he described it. Like, "Oh yes, we have got the vital parts of the plan. They're all over there, but they have been split into 5 different locations, and for each location you must decipher a clue. I speak to a number of people to find parts to the clue."
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be Jack's Twitch streams for the next few months. Is like him going through and finding the next bit of the puzzle for him to be able to fly.
Yeah,
like, and then he'll get
I've
them
got
all
a radio,
together.
but no battery pack for the radio. Like, I've got my goggles, I've got the quad, I've got the radio, no antennas.
No antennas. Yeah.
To get to the antennas, I have to unpack this box, which will cover all the other things.
So first, I must answer a riddle.
By the time he's got everything in the right order so that he can fly it, and then he's flashed everything to the latest thing so that he feels good about it, the weather will have changed and it will be unflyable for the next 6
months. Winter.
I've noticed a tendency where you're like, "Does it work?" And he's like, yeah, let's go. And he gets to the field and he's like, "All right, I better flash everything."
Oh, no. We should make a rule for Jack for the year of 2024. If your shit works, no flashing until 2025.
Yeah, don't touch it. You're not allowed to touch it.
No laptops at the field.
Don't even look at that old Tyrannus. It's dead to you, Jack. It's dead to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All USB cables are going to be seized until further notice.
Jack will get to the field to be like, "I'll just flash this." He takes out USB cable, it's cut in half. He takes out another USB cable, it's cut in half.
Yeah. Well, I guess in Jack fashion, I think that's all we have time for.
Excellent.
And what else does he say? Somebody else take over.
We should say thank you to all our patrons who let this show happen. Thank you very much. Without you, this would be far too much hassle and we wouldn't bother. So thank you for supporting us and letting us.
Less brutal honesty and more fluffing of the Patreons, Frank.
Yeah.
And a frozen
thank you very much. You are wonderful people for letting us come on here every week and whitter away and get it edited and published so that you presumably listen to it at some point.
Hopefully.
So yes, thank you very much. If any one of you is going to any of the events we talked about, then let us know and we'll try and get you some stickers or something to you. So EMF, Popham, the South Wales wing races, Western Park. We've got the 4-bed Airbnb waiting for us.
Still need to ring that guy.
Let us know if you guys would be interested in a meetup in the southeast as well, because we were idly thinking about that somewhere near where Jack was recently. we have a potential location for a smallish number of people. So let us know if you're interested in a kind of southeasterly meetup.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, everyone. See you next week, and good night.
Bye.
See ya.